Good evening, and welcome to Sleep Sanctuary, where calmness and imagination meet to guide you into a restful sleep. Close your eyes if you'd like, and let the day slip away. Let the world outside grow quiet as you settle into this moment of stillness. Tonight, I'd like to take you somewhere, a place untouched by time, wrapped in the calm of winter. It's a place where the snow falls softly, and the trees shimmer like crystal, holding secrets older than memory. Tonight, I'll share the story of a journey I took, a journey into the winter forest of wishes. It began on a cold, moonlit evening. The air was crisp, and the snow beneath my boots crunched with every step. I hadn't planned to wander far that night, but something drew me, a faint glow at the edge of the horizon, flickering like a distant star. As I followed it, I found myself standing at the edge of the forest. The trees were unlike anything I'd ever seen. Their branches sparkled with frost, catching the moonlight as if each one had been dipped in silver. The silence wasn't empty, it was alive, humming softly, like the world itself was holding its breath. As I stepped deeper into the forest, a peculiar warmth stirred within me, a sense of familiarity, though I'd never been there before. And then I noticed something strange. The trees seemed to whisper, their voices faint and fleeting, like echoes carried on the wind. I didn't understand it at first, but I would soon discover that this was no ordinary forest. It held something extraordinary, a piece of myself I had long forgotten. But for now, I invite you to join me on this journey. Let us walk together into the winter forest of wishes, where dreams wait patiently beneath the frost. Before we continue our journey into the winter forest of wishes, let's take a moment to pause, to breathe, and to let go of everything that weighs on your mind. Find a comfortable position, allowing your body to sink into the surface beneath you. Close your eyes, if you haven't already, and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Feel the cool air filling your lungs, bringing with it a sense of calm. Now, gently exhale through your mouth, releasing any tension. Let's do that again. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. With each breath, feel yourself relaxing further, your shoulders softening, your muscles letting go. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a snowy forest. The world around you is quiet and still, as if the very air holds a gentle hush. Snowflakes drift lazily from the sky, glistening like tiny stars before they settle on the ground. The crisp winter air brushes against your skin, fresh and invigorating, yet somehow comforting. As you take a step into the forest, imagine the snow crunching softly beneath your feet. The trees rise around you, their branches sparkling with frost. The silence here isn't empty, it's soothing, wrapping around you like a warm blanket. Breathe in the scent of pine and snow, clean and pure, and feel yourself drawn deeper into this peaceful place. Let the stillness wash over you, carrying away any worries or lingering thoughts. This is a place where time slows, where the only thing that matters is this moment. Allow yourself to feel safe, calm, and completely at ease. When you're ready, we'll take the next step together into the winter forest of wishes. For now, simply rest in this serene stillness. The first step into the forest felt like crossing into another world. The moment my boots touched the snow-covered ground beneath the towering trees, the air seemed to shift. It was colder, yes, but not in an unkind way. The chill felt crisp, like it had been untouched for centuries, preserved and perfect. Above me, the branches stretched out like frozen lace, their crystalline edges shimmering faintly in the soft glow of the moonlight. Each tree sparkled as though adorned with countless tiny stars, their beauty breathtaking in its simplicity. The forest was utterly silent, save for the faint crunch of snow beneath my feet and my own breath, curling in soft clouds before me. But as I ventured further in, I began to notice something strange. The silence wasn't empty, it was alive. At first, it was barely perceptible, a faint vibration in the air, like the hum of a distant melody carried on the wind. I stopped walking and held my breath, straining to hear. It wasn't a song, exactly, but something more elusive. A whisper, faint and fleeting, as though the trees themselves were speaking in a language too delicate to grasp. I reached out instinctively and placed my hand on the nearest tree trunk. The bark was cold under my fingers, yet it pulsed faintly, almost as if it were alive. And then I heard it, a voice. Soft, fragile, and impossibly familiar. It wasn't a stranger's voice. It was mine, but not the voice I knew. It was a voice from long ago, younger, lighter, filled with the wonder and innocence of childhood. The words were faint, but as they unraveled, I felt a rush of emotion I hadn't expected, a forgotten memory, stirring awake like an ember reignited. The voice was making a wish. My wish. I pulled my hand back sharply, my heart pounding. For a moment, I stood frozen, staring at the tree, unsure of what I had just experienced. The whisper faded, and the hum of the forest returned, low and constant, like a heartbeat. I took a step back and looked around. The trees seemed closer now, as if they had gathered to watch. Their branches sparkled in the moonlight, casting faint, flickering shadows on the snow. My breath came in shallow puffs, my mind racing. What was this place? Something drew me further in. I couldn't stop now, not after what I'd heard. There was a strange pull in the air, as though the forest itself was inviting me deeper, promising answers to questions I hadn't even thought to ask. With each step, the hum grew stronger, and I began to notice faint glimmers in the distance, soft, golden lights flickering among the trees, like lanterns marking a path. Whatever lay at the heart of this forest, I knew it was something extraordinary. And so I walked on, deeper into the winter forest of wishes, my heart heavy with curiosity and something else, something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. As I ventured deeper into the winter forest, the air seemed to grow thicker with an almost tangible energy. The faint hum that had lingered in the background now resonated like a gentle vibration in my chest, a sound I felt more than heard. The golden lights I had noticed earlier flickered faintly between the trees, like fireflies caught in an eternal winter. It was then that I began to notice the trees more closely. Each one seemed to have its own unique pattern etched into its frosted bark, spirals, symbols, and intricate designs that shimmered faintly as if alive. Some were faint and faded, while others glowed brightly, pulsing softly with an inner light. I couldn't shake the feeling that these patterns told stories, stories hidden within the wood, waiting to be unlocked. Curiosity compelled me to stop at one of the brighter trees. Its bark glowed with a soft golden hue, and as I reached out, my fingers hesitated just above the surface. The hum intensified, and the moment my hand made contact, a vision rushed through me. I saw a woman, young and vibrant, standing in a field of sunflowers. She was laughing, her arms outstretched toward the sky as if embracing the warmth of a dream she had chased her entire life. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the vision faded, leaving only the whisper of her voice echoing in my mind. I wish to always feel the sun's warmth, no matter where life takes me. I stumbled back, my breath catching in my throat. The tree had shown me her wish, her dream. And as I looked around, I began to understand. This forest wasn't just a collection of trees. Each tree held a wish, frozen in time like a fragile snowflake. Some wishes were bold and bright, etched deeply into the bark, while others were faint and barely visible, as if forgotten by the dreamer who had made them. As I walked, I touched another tree and another. Each one revealed a new story, a young boy wishing for courage, a weary traveler longing for home, an artist dreaming of creating something that would last forever. The forest wasn't silent, it was alive with the echoes of countless dreams, some fulfilled, others left behind. But it wasn't just the wishes of strangers that surrounded me. The whisper I had heard earlier, the voice of my younger self, reminded me that my own wish was here too, waiting to be rediscovered. The thought filled me with a strange mix of excitement and unease. The trees seemed to lean closer as if urging me onward, guiding me toward something I couldn't yet see. The golden lights grew brighter in the distance, marking a path deeper into the forest. I hesitated for a moment, my heart heavy with the weight of what I might find. And yet, I knew I couldn't turn back. The magic of the forest was pulling me forward, toward the wish I had long forgotten, and perhaps toward something even greater. The golden lights guided me deeper into the winter forest, their glow soft but insistent, like distant lanterns beckoning me forward. The hum in the air grew stronger, resonating in my chest with every step I took. It was as if the forest was alive, aware of my presence, drawing me closer to something I could not yet see but felt deeply. I followed the path until it brought me to a small clearing. In its center stood a single tree, taller and more radiant than any I had seen before. Its branches sparkled with a light that seemed to come from within, casting a warm, golden glow onto the snow-covered ground. The intricate patterns on its bark shimmered like threads of spun gold, and as I stepped closer, I felt an overwhelming sense of familiarity, as though the tree had been waiting for me. I hesitated, my breath catching in my throat. Part of me wanted to turn away, afraid of what I might uncover, but something stronger urged me forward. Slowly, I reached out and placed my hand against the tree. The moment my fingers touched the bark, a flood of memories surged through me, vivid and undeniable. I saw myself as a child, standing in a field blanketed with freshly fallen snow. My hands were clasped together, my eyes squeezed shut as I whispered my wish into the cold winter air. I wish, my younger voice echoed faintly, filled with innocence and hope, to always feel free, to never lose the wonder of the world around me. The memory hit me like a wave, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. I remembered that moment so clearly now, the sharp chill of the air, the way my heart had soared with the sheer possibility of that wish. But as quickly as the memory had come, it was followed by another. The years that had passed, the weight of responsibilities, the countless times I had ignored the simple joys I once treasured. Somewhere along the way, I had forgotten that wish, buried it beneath the rush of life. The tree pulsed faintly beneath my hand, its light softening as if waiting for me to respond. I pulled my hand back, overwhelmed, and stepped away. My mind raced with questions. Could I still embrace that wish, or had it been lost to time? Could I truly recapture the wonder I had once felt, or was it something that belonged only to my childhood? The clearing was silent except for the hum of the forest, patient and unyielding. I looked around at the other trees, their soft whispers blending into a symphony of dreams and desires. And then I realized the truth. This forest wasn't just about wishes, it was about choices. The tree stood before me, a reflection of who I once was and who I still could be. All I had to do was decide. Would I let the wish remain frozen in the past, or would I dare to thaw it and let it breathe again? I stood before the glowing tree, its golden light illuminating the snow around me in soft, shifting patterns. The memory of my childhood wish echoed in my mind, fragile yet powerful, to always feel free, to never lose the wonder of the world around me. Those words felt both distant and impossibly close, like an old melody I could almost hum but not quite remember. The hum of the forest grew softer, as if the trees were waiting, giving me space to think. My hand hovered above the bark, hesitant. The wish I had once made so freely now felt like a question, a challenge even. Could I still hold on to it? Was it even possible to rekindle that sense of freedom, that childlike wonder I had lost somewhere along the way? I closed my eyes, letting the weight of the question settle. Memories began to surface, unbidden and raw. I saw myself racing through an open field as a child, laughing as the wind rushed past me, the world feeling endless and full of possibilities. Then I saw later years, days spent in endless routine, each one blending into the next, the spark of wonder fading under the weight of responsibilities. Somewhere along the way, I had learned to play it safe, to avoid risks, to seek comfort over curiosity. But had I truly lost that part of myself, or had it simply been buried, waiting for me to remember? I opened my eyes and looked at the tree again, its light pulsing faintly, as if mirroring the rhythm of my thoughts. I realized the forest wasn't asking me to simply wish again. It was asking me to choose, to let go of the past and keep moving forward as I had been, or to embrace the possibility of change, knowing it might not be easy. For a moment, fear crept in. What if I reached for that wonder and failed? What if life was too far along, too complicated to allow me to feel that freedom again? But then I thought of the hum of the forest, the countless wishes surrounding me. Some of those wishes had surely been fulfilled, others abandoned, but each one had mattered. Each one had shaped someone's path. And wasn't that what my wish had done? Even forgotten, It had guided me in subtle ways, a yearning for meaning, a pull toward quiet moments of awe. It had brought me here, to this magical forest, to a moment of decision. I took a deep breath, letting the cold, crisp air fill my lungs. If the wonder was still there, even buried, wasn't it worth trying to find it again? If I could reconnect with that freedom, wouldn't that be the greatest gift I could give myself? My hand reached out, this time without hesitation. As my fingers touched the bark, the golden light flared, enveloping me in its warmth. The hum of the forest grew louder, resonating with a quiet joy. I had made my choice. The golden light from the tree surrounded me, soft yet all-encompassing, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. My fingers pressed against the bark, warm now, pulsing faintly beneath my touch. I felt a wave of emotion rise within me, not just joy or sadness, but something deeper, a quiet clarity that I hadn't experienced in years. The memory of my childhood wish echoed in my mind, to always feel free, to never lose the wonder of the world around me. For so long, I had forgotten those words, buried them beneath layers of practicality and the demands of life. But now, standing in the heart of the winter forest, I realized they had never truly left me. They had been waiting, quietly shaping the corners of my soul, urging me to seek moments of awe, even in the smallest of things. The hum of the forest grew softer again, as if inviting me to reflect. My wish wasn't asking me to abandon who I had become, it was reminding me to reconnect with a part of myself I had ignored. Wonder didn't have to be grand, it could be found in a fleeting moment, in the glimmer of frost on a leaf, in the sound of the wind through the trees. I pulled my hand away from the tree, the golden light fading into a soft glow. The pulsing beneath my palm stilled, yet something within me remained vibrant, alive. I looked around the clearing, at the other trees, each holding dreams and wishes of their own. The forest was vast, yet it felt deeply personal, as if it had been waiting for me to come to this moment. I took a deep breath, and with it came a sense of resolve. My wish wasn't something that had to be left behind, frozen in time. It was something I could carry with me, not as a fleeting hope, but as a quiet truth. I could still choose to see the world with wonder, to embrace the small freedoms life offered, to let curiosity guide me in ways I had forgotten. The golden lights along the path flickered once more, and I understood. The forest had shown me what I needed to see, but it would not force my hand. The choice had always been mine, to take this moment, this feeling, and carry it forward or leave it behind and return to the familiar. I stepped away from the tree, the snow crunching softly beneath my feet. My heart felt lighter, as if a weight I hadn't known I was carrying had finally been lifted. The hum of the forest grew fainter as I turned back toward the path I had come from, the golden lights now leading the way out. The winter forest of wishes had given me what I didn't realize I needed, not a rekindling of my childhood wish, but the reminder that it had never truly left me. And now I was ready to carry it forward into the world beyond the trees. The golden lights lined my path, soft and steady, guiding me back toward the edge of the winter forest. Each step felt lighter now, the crunch of snow beneath my boots rhythmic and grounding. The hum of the forest was quieter, fading into the background like the final notes of a beautiful melody. I glanced over my shoulder at the trees, their crystalline branches shimmering faintly under the moonlight. They no longer felt towering or imposing, but instead like silent guardians, watching as I made my way forward. Each tree, I now understood, carried stories and dreams, some bright and alive, others faded and forgotten. I was leaving them behind, but a part of their magic would remain with me. The clearing with the radiant tree lingered in my mind. Its glow, its warmth, and the echo of my childhood wish still pulsed gently within me. That wish had been more than just a fleeting thought from long ago. It had been a thread connecting my younger self to the person I had become. In the stillness of the forest, I realized I didn't need to chase that childhood wonder. It was already part of me, waiting to be acknowledged, nurtured, and lived. The trees began to thin, and I caught glimpses of the world beyond. The forest's glow softened, replaced by the faint light of dawn creeping over the horizon. The sky had shifted from deep indigo to pale hues of pink and gold, and the first birdsong broke through the stillness. It was as if the world itself was awakening, mirroring the quiet renewal I felt within. When I reached the edge of the forest, I stopped and turned one last time. The trees stood tall and silent, their crystalline beauty unchanging. But as I gazed at them, I noticed something subtle, a faint glow in the distance, the clearing where the radiant tree stood. It pulsed softly, as if to say goodbye, as if to remind me that its magic would always be there if I ever needed to return. I took a deep breath, the crisp morning air filling my lungs. The chill of the forest still lingered on my skin, but it no longer felt cold. It felt invigorating, like the promise of something new. The hum of the forest faded completely now, replaced by the sounds of the waking world, the rustle of wind through bare branches, the distant call of a bird, the gentle crunch of my boots as I stepped forward. As I walked away, I felt lighter, as though a part of me had been unburdened. The winter forest of wishes had reminded me of something precious, not just the wish of my childhood, but the power of choice, the importance of wonder, and the beauty of carrying those truths into the present. The forest remained behind me, a place of magic and memory, yet I knew its gift would stay with me always. With every step, I carried the hum of the forest within me, a quiet, enduring echo of hope.